Hey all, today I am quickly just going to run through how to create a vector image out of a photo or a PNG file, pretty much anything that you're looking like a simple illustration you want to turn into a vector. So I have Deldon's logo here from 1331 Studios, and as you see this is on about a 3000 pixel by about a 1800 pixel width, and that's the size now, so it's a pretty low res image. So there's a couple ways we can go about tackling something like this. The first way, and probably the quickest, is simply to do an image trace. Select your image here, then you'll want to go to Window, Image Trace, then do a preview. Now don't be scared by what's about to happen here first. Okay, so there's black and white. Now he has 3 colors in his, so I can just change that to a 3 color, and it should render something pretty decent out there. That actually turned out better than expected. So this image, it has now turned this into a vector. So if I want to stretch this, say about this big, oh boy, there we go. If I turn that the size of my page, it hasn't really lost any detail, but as you can see here, image trace, it's pretty good. You've got the odd spot here, like where you've got a little bit of color missing there. But if you want to do any sort of editing on this and just sort of edit some colors in or out, anywhere you want to cut a few things off, like that little blue spot you see there, what you'll do is click here, and then go Object, Expand, and you want to do Object and Fill, and just hit OK. So what this does is it separates everything. So say this color here, in my 3 color, is all of the color of the alien. So say I wanted to do Select, then I could just go same fill color, and I wanted him to be, oh, I don't know, your Martian green. There you go. This is sort of the quickest, most effective way. If you have a decent quality image, this is pretty good for logos too. Not particularly text because it looks like it was drawn in crayon for the most part. But yeah, this gives you a pretty decent vector image in a very fast manner, and a way that you can just screw around with the colors however you want very quickly. This is sort of a good way if you're just playing around with colors on something, you just want to get a better feel for what you're dealing with. So, bring a new one in here, and say you wanted to do something a little trickier, like get pretty much the exact imagery here with no overlapping colors. You want to take out these blotchy white spots kind of thing. Decent way to do that. First thing I'd do is just lock this layer, make a new one. If you're like me and you want to keep track, I would do, and then artwork for your second layer. So now you can't select this, this is just there to look at. And then, I'm sure you've probably heard of this one before, and some people like it, I particularly do, some do not. You could bring out your handy dandy pen tool and your shape builder, and you can sort of get to work here and just work your way around the whole thing. Now this is definitely the most time-consuming method possible, but it is also generally one of the better ones. Okay, so if I turn off my back layer, I am left with this. Now, what you want to do is hit Control or Command A if you're on a Mac. It'll select everything, then hit Shift M. This will open up your shape builder tool. So this is the kind of stuff here. You want this to be an area, so you simply left click. This is an area of its own, left click, as well as the same with both of these eyes, this nose, this mouth, and you want this hand to be an area. So if I were to flip this hand around, it has this carved out of it. So what does this do for you? Well, we can back out here a little bit. let's say we were to take our vector, drag the entire thing over here. Say I wanted to invert this, and this is going to be a black. Make that a full black color. Make sure you have no outside layer, you just want your fill. Then in here we want him to Shift X, invert, then hit I. That'll bring up your eyedropper. Match up the exact colors, doing the same with the inside of the hand. You can see it's kind of coming together, but it is now a vector shape. Then I'll take the inside of this head, also want that to match that, and then this, shift click, anything you want to stay the same here, the eyes, that, Shift X, and black. And we now have ourselves a vector image, and you can already see these are a very small size. You can already see there's no matter how much I want to zoom in on this guy here, if I want him to give me the finger at a telescopic range, there is no pixelation. What I like to generally do on things like this, say my arm, my head, I do Control or Command G and groups them. So if I change the color of one, say to any of these things, it'll do it with all of them. Now, like I say, this is like a giant 4K poster size. I'm making this for him because he wants to have a really high res copy. Center it up. There we go. So we've gone from an image this size, and this is its native size, and it's still got some pixelation going on, and then we can create that. Then say you want to make a nice background on it. You can just make yourself a rectangle, put it in the back. He had a nice bright red. I actually kind of like that orange. But say we wanted to match this up, do your eyedropper once again, and there you have it. You have created the exact same logo as in this PNG file, but it is now a vector. So you can do save it as, here you can do it as a PDF. For stuff I do for like YouTube thumbnails, anything like that, I go to my export as, and generally I stick to PNG. TIFF is another good one. It's a good print format which will still save transparency if you don't want a background on something. But yeah, and say I want to match this up exactly. It looks like he has a rounded edge here. So select this, grab these little inside corners, and there we go. Now if I go to my desktop, I've now got a Delden logo. It is a PNG file, so everything's transparent that I didn't add in. So my rounded edges here at the bottom and up at the top are not included in this picture. This is everything all on one here. Pretty high resolution. I don't think he'll be able to find a screen. He needs a larger size than this one. If he does, I'm impressed. This one's going to drive my computer a little bit nuts. Say I wanted to image trace Santa Monica's pier. Well, let me tell you something. You can do that. Window, image trace, preview. This is not going to be pretty. That's actually pretty frickin' sweet. But you can also just go to, let's say, a high fidelity photo. Now give the computer, bear with it here. Okay, it's actually going faster than I expected. This is going to pick up a ton of different textures on your photo. It is going to take a ton of different colors in the sand, the water, the Ferris wheel in the background, everything. It is working out individual colors, so it's going to probably have several dozen colors within the image itself for shading. And there you have it. Can you even tell that that is an image trace? From far away, I'm going to go ahead and say no. Up here, it looks like a painting. Clouds are sort of faded in there. Your pier, your Ferris wheel's got details down to every little tiny strand on it. Those people, it's almost got facial details on it. The water reflection looks absolutely amazing. I might have to save this as a new desktop background. So yeah, that's how you have it. You can redo logos, you can do images in a vector file, and like I say, now that this is a vector, if I stretch this thing to be printed and glued to the side of a Walmart, it can be any size you want. I don't know why Walmart's my go-to thing on the top of my head here. But yeah, so there you go. If you have anything else you could use a hand with in any of the Adobe Suite programs, just let me know. Thanks. Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, don't forget to leave a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, feel free to subscribe to keep up to date with all our recent uploads. Hopefully I'll see you all in the next one.